Hello everyone, Game Week 19 preview for ChampmanFPL, the halfway point. So halfway, GW19 Ajax trees down, #1 spot. Look at that, 112 points this game week. Gone top of the pile, so he's made up 35 points there on second place to go top. Really good week. Well done, mate. The leader at the halfway point, GW19. Let's have a quick look at his team for last week. Viduka and Phillips, that was the dream team, and Smith. Look at that, 112, no chip. Southgate 0, Hippier 4. I mean, he's even carried those two, really. What a week that is. Our leader at the halfway point. What else have we got on the halfway? We got Irons. Irons has had a few good weeks now, I think. 105. We all saw it on the stream. Viduka and Smith late on. Absolutely chewing a wasp after that Phillips hat trick went in. I thought Mode and Irons were just going to cry at one point, but it worked out for Irons at least late on. So well done, yeah. On reflection, it was a good display of passion from you at the end there, even though it killed me only having Phillips. But well played. Yeah, it was good to see you, and it was good to see someone enjoying it so much, really. Yeah, so there's our first page halfway. I've had a few bad weeks now. Well, I say bad weeks, average weeks. I'm down to, what is it, third page now. I did say when I was on the first page, I was not getting too carried away. 71, yeah, not too bad. But yeah, mad to get a red arrow with Phillips captain. So those Viduka goals late on really did me in, really. But there we go, 100, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a nice bit of symmetry for halfway. 100 points off the lead. So yeah, I'd have probably taken that at the start. 100 points off the lead at halfway. Still in with a shot, I think. A good triple captain, a good bench boost, good free hit, good use of the wild card. It's all still possible in this game. Big points to be had on any given week. That goes for all of you guys, not just me. So on to this week then. First up, Arsenal Ipswich. So Arsenal will attack this game. At home, Ipswich will play defensive. Counter-attack, yes. Men behind ball, no. So yeah, not too bad. Not as bad as it could be from Ipswich. And they seem to be keeping it reasonably tight. Arsenal not running away with this. So yeah, I've spoken to a couple of other simmers on the Discord who we've kind of been saying, I'm not sure about Arsenal coming out so low in this, but there's definitely a few of us seeing the same thing. Arsenal look good to win. They look pretty good to keep a clean sheet, but they're not hitting that many goals really. And I think just looking at this, I think we'd expect Ipswich to set up like this. So we've spoken before about high-scoring games is when you tend to get overloads out wide. So Arsenal aren't going to have that. Arsenal play 4-4-2, so it's going to be there's no overload on the wings, and Ipswich are playing 5 at the back as well. So not only have Ipswich got the wide positions kind of covered, they've also got an extra player sort of in the centre of defence, and they've got backward arrows on their strikers as well. So it's a pretty good tactic from Ipswich. Not only the fact that they're going to set up defensively, but also just the weight of numbers in the right positions against Arsenal's 4-4-2 is pretty good. So yeah, when you consider that, it kind of makes sense that Arsenal aren't going too crazy in this one. But you would expect them to win. Good chance of a clean sheet. And you've got the odd chance, 20-25% chance of them hitting 3 or 4. So not it's still pretty good, but it's nothing like the game against Millwall last week where you expected them to score 2 minimum. And player returns bears that out. Jeffers was the only player that scored more than 6 returns for me. over all the sims. So that's Arsenal Ipswich. Blackburn Sunderland. Blackburn play normal at home, Sunderland play normal away, so same mentalities. Comes down to formations and the quality of the players on each team. Blackburn are coming out well on top. They've got the home advantage as well, if that puts any weight towards it. So Blackburn well out on top, 18 wins out of 20, only 2 for Sunderland, 10 clean sheets for Blackburn, only 1 for Sunderland. So yeah, you're riding your luck with Sunderland assets really this week. Blackburn look really good again at home. And you can see there the 2 Sunderland wins. One of them was the goalkeeper man of the match, and one of them was Tome centre half man of the match. So that gives you an idea of how those 2 went, even when they won. Really strong home game for Blackburn. And returns. So yeah, front two guys come a bit left field in this for whatever reason. I'm not really sure. But yeah, 2 guy doesn't often appear on these lists, but some reason seem to like this one in my sims. Phillips Teal saves. I mean, I suppose Sunderland have scored in 50% of the games, so you've got a reasonable chance of Phillips being involved, I suppose, on that basis. And then yeah, it depends what side it comes from, Teal or Arca. But yeah, not a great game for Sunderland, a good looking game for Blackburn. Charlton Bolton. Charlton will attack at home, Bolton will play normal. So Charlton's slightly more aggressive and just shading it on that basis, I think. But if you look at this sort of top quarter, this is kind of what I would take from it, really. You've got it could go either way. So yeah, I wouldn't write off assets from either team, really. I think it could potentially be a great game for Pedersen. It could potentially be a great game for Yule, Brian Hughes, Wallace, Gardner. You just it's one of those where you just hope that it comes out as one of these rather than one of these. I wouldn't write off assets from either team. Yeah, so for example, I'll be starting Brian Hughes, I'll be starting Gardner, and hopefully at least one of them can get something, and you've an outside chance that maybe both of them could get something. Player returns, so just slightly more favourable to Charlton, as we just saw. There's a few more players hitting reasonably consistent returns for Charlton, but yeah, the Bolton forward players, if you get one of these games, there's a reasonable chance of that happening. It's 7 clean sheets as well. Yeah, it's a tough one to call. I wouldn't like to leave a player from either side on the bench just on the off chance that it falls the right way, really. So that's Charlton Bolton, bit of a toss-up. Derby Liverpool. So Derby always attack at home, Liverpool attack away to low rep teams. So fairly open, and it results in both teams comfortably over a goal a game and not many clean sheets. But not too many games where they're running away with it. I mean, Liverpool, even though it's attack against attack, Liverpool are notoriously pretty good at the back, and Derby aren't that great. So yeah, this kind of makes sense to me. Probably 1-1, 1-0, 2-1 either way. outside bet of one of the teams getting a green. So probably the takeaway is it's not a great game for Liverpool defensive assets. I suppose they've let us down. They've had a couple of really good home games recently where you'd hope they would get a clean sheet, and they haven't done it. And then this week, I wouldn't count on them getting a clean sheet again. Player returns really low numbers. Not worth worrying about really. Nothing really to home in on. Everton Chelsea. So I think Everton will probably play normal in this one. I suppose they could play attacking. Everton changed their home tactic depending on whether they see the game as tough or not. So I think Chelsea are this matchup is probably somewhere on the edge. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. So it could be normal versus normal, or Everton might play slightly more attacking. But given how good Chelsea are at the back, I don't think it's a massive deal. And this is what I saw over 20 sims. So really tight, almost identical. Average goals, wins, clean sheets, really low. Again, similar to the Derby-Liverpool game, really. Both teams to score looks pretty good, but without it being a crazy game. And player returns, so Gravison in double figures is not bad. Petit, another central midfielder. Campbell and Johnson, a couple of forwards from each team. So yeah, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? They're really evenly matched in all of this. And then here you've got two central midfielders, two strikers, and then Carboni is just snuck in as well. Tight game, another tough one to call. Leeds City. This is a bit more of a mismatch in terms of the tactic. Leeds will attack. Man City will defend. Men behind ball. And it leads to a pretty, a more one-sided affair. Leeds well out on top. City struggling to score goals with their defensive mindset. Good for clean sheets for Leeds. And a good number of greens as well. So yeah, another good home game for Leeds. Player returns, again, all about Leeds. Smith and Viduka. So again, got those two in your team. I can't see a reason why you wouldn't stick with it. Could easily happen again that Smith tees up Viduka tees up Smith. Robbie Keane and Bowyer in the mix. Leicester Millwall. Leicester attack at home. Millwall play normal away to a low rep team. And Leicester out on top. So yeah, really one of the strongest games you'll see for Leicester this season. Understandably against Millwall, but Millwall themselves say that they're not going to set up defensively, so they've got a pretty good chance of scoring a goal. We said the same against Arsenal last week. You'd expect Arsenal to hit 3 or 4, but you'd also expect Millwall to score. And this is a similar story, slightly less. Slightly less in favour of Leicester than Arsenal, but it's similar story. I'd expect Leicester to win, but Millwall to score. So yeah, I don't think too many people have got Izzet in their team after his little injury and his bad run, but wouldn't be surprised if Izzet, if he plays, does well in this game. See Sturridge getting a good number of man of the match, Scowcroft. yeah, it's one of those what could have been, I suppose. I'm not sure how many Leicester assets are around anymore. But Sturridge hitting double figures, Harris as well. Yeah, Scowcroft, Savarese, Wise, is it? Could be a good game, but will anyone care? Man United, Watford. So, as expected last week, Man United didn't really deliver at Stamford Bridge with their defensive tactic, but they're back at home, back attacking, back against a team that will sort of invite the pressure. And could be back amongst the goals. Really strong looking. What have we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times they've hit 3 or more. 17 wins, 12 clean sheets. Yeah, really, really strong. So I've been without Rude for a couple of weeks now, so I think he'll probably be back in. Looks a tough game for Phillips this week, so probably be boring this week and just do Phillips to Rude. And then worry about next week when it comes. Player returns, Rude, 14 goals, 4 assists. Returned in 11 separate matches, but there was some rep, so he wouldn't have played 20 times. 18 returns. Beckham, so for that you could read good game for Chadwick. Giggs on the other wing. York and Cole both among the goals, even though it was a mixture of who played. Yeah, just all about United. Goals could come from anywhere, and also a good chance of a clean sheet. Newcastle Borough. So Newcastle would attack with their shitty long ball. Borough will play normal. And yeah, pretty tight, pretty uninspiring. As we quite often see with Newcastle, they've got this big block of nils where the long ball just doesn't come off. Borough have got good central defenders, haven't they? So yeah, 1-0 Borough, 1-1. Probably the most likely result. Especially with Shearer injured, that if Shearer doesn't play, that the X factor where they've hit 4-3. Shearer man of the match in a 3-0. If he's not playing, that's not going to happen. Just for a bit of fun. So yeah, Middlesbrough was so comfortable in this game that Mark Crossley, I think he just decided he wasn't going to bother using his hands and see what would happen. So he's won 3 tackles, 2 of them key, 2 headers, 2 of them key. So yeah, I can only assume he's decided I'm going to see how I can get on not using my hands, and he's done pretty well with his head and his feet. So that's how good Newcastle were. Player returns, low numbers. Boxic, Rickard. Yeah, I definitely fancy Borough to probably score a goal. You're gambling on whether Newcastle turn up on the day, really. Villa Spurs. So this one looks fun. Attack versus attack. 4-4-2 against wing-backs. All the ingredients we love for a goal fest in Champman. So, just to show you a few examples of how this went. So I think we'll do the sim. We'll come back to that. We'll do the sims first. So 1.8 versus 1.35. So yeah, there's a fair number of greens here. This is kind of what I would expect. You've got a good number of fun games there at the top where both teams are getting greens. It could go to Spurs, could go to Villa, Spurs, Villa. It's kind of zigzagging with the greens. So that's what I would kind of expect and kind of hope for from this game. Because, as I say, it's attack versus attack, 4-4-2 versus wing backs. It's got all the right ingredients. I personally would forget this bottom half of the screen and just hope that it doesn't happen. I've said it before, I'm all about ceilings. So I would just focus in on this top section is what we could be in store for. And think about the possibilities from that. It would just be unlucky. If it happens to be one of these bottom ones, it would just be unlucky. I would target this top section. And yeah, let's go through some screenshots here. So from some of the lower scoring games, you can see that it could have been really different. So this is one where Serini got man of the match and Tottenham won 1-0. But you can see 17 shots for Villa, 11 shots for Spurs, 8 on target, 7 on target. That could have been 3-all, 4-3 on another day. One here, again, fairly low scoring, but look at that, 22 shots for Villa, 10 for Tottenham, 15 on target for Villa, and they've only scored once. I mean, that's ridiculous. Another one here that was 2-2, but 13 shots on target for Villa, 7 for Spurs. 27 shots between them, but only 2 goals. So, that's the kind of game we could be in for. And that's why I say forget about this bottom section. That would be unlucky. It could happen. It would be unlucky. I'd be thinking all about the possibilities from this top section for this one. And forget the average. Forget the averages. It's about what's up here. That's my opinion on this one. Player returns. Angel out on top. But again, as I said before, in Sim, sometimes he doesn't play. Sometimes it's Dublin Balaban. Dublin's not on the list, but if he does play and Villa have 22 shots, then obviously it could be brilliant. Don't worry about this list too much. The only thing to take from it is that it's a long list of possibilities. So that's Villa Spurs. Okay, top returners then. Van Nistelrooy, yeah, I'm definitely too scared to go without him this week, unless we get any news that tells me that it's okay. Janssen, another really good home game for Blackburn. So yeah, Janssen, De Boer if he plays up front, Bent, Dunn, Duff, Solano. Take your pick. Really good home game for Blackburn. Yeah, Man United are going to score a lot of goals, so I'd expect probably one of the Man United midfielders is going to haul alongside with one of the strikers. Smith, Viduka, Leeds, another good home game. Sturridge, yeah, really like Leicester this week. If you're on a free hit, I'd probably have a player or two from Leicester this week. And then the Villa Spurs game, I'd want someone from somewhere in that game because it could happen for you. Attacking look ahead. Yeah, Arsenal reasonable run. Blackburn have got 3 home games out of 4 still, so that Liverpool game is a bit of a stinker. But you'd probably put up with benching Blackburn assets for that week, so then have Millwall at home the next week. Charlton have got a good run. So yeah, they've got Bolton at home, Newcastle at home is decent. Then they've got Man United away, but you never know. Man United could rep in that game. They could nick a goal. And then they've got a double. So I know they're rock bottom, but they do score, their fair share of goals. And that's kind of all that matters, isn't it? So Charlton have got a really good run coming up. Leeds, yeah, again, 2 home games. Then they've got Millwall and then Sunderland at home. Really good. Leicester, I think, have got a decent run. Millwall at home is great. Ipswich at home, again, has potential. Tottenham away. And then they're at home to Liverpool. Yeah, that's a decent run for Leicester. We've said that earlier in the season and it hasn't come off. But you know, things can swing. Sturridge has done nothing this so far, but no reason he can't score 4 or 5 goals in that run. Man United, all greens, been letting us down. Well, have they been letting us down recently? Yeah, I suppose they have a bit, haven't they? But yeah, Watford home, Everton away, Charlton home, Newcastle away. I mean, that's just struggle to pick a better run out of the hat really than that for Man United, which is quite ominous. And Spurs again, so along with Charlton, they've got the double coming up. So that Aston Villa game looks like it's got potential. Blackburn away, yeah, not the best, but at least Spurs will go and attack that game, which most teams wouldn't. And then Leicester at home is great, and then they've got a double. Yeah, brilliant run for Spurs coming up. And again, just as I said about Sturridge just there, the same applies to people like Rebrov and Selakovic. They're good players and they've got a good run coming up. They could start to go off. It could happen. So that's the goal scoring look ahead. Defensively, Arsenal not bad. Blackburn, yeah, a lot of home games. Charlton, just by sheer weight of numbers, really. I mean, you don't really back Charlton for clean sheets, but you know they've got 2 home games and then a double where they're going to get double points just for turning up. So just on that basis, it's a better run than most defensively. Chelsea, we know are good for bonus clean sheets, and they've their next 3 is okay. Leeds, a lot of home games, and Millwall. Man United, as I said, a really kind run. And Spurs, again, similar to Charlton, you don't really back Spurs defenders, but you know, in that double, someone like Ziga, we've seen Ziga get a hat-trick of assists earlier in the season. If he plays both of those doubles, he's going to get double points just for turning up. Leicester at home is good. You know, it's speculative, but I think there's potentially opportunity there. So I think that's it. Good luck with the game week, everyone. See you on the other side. Make sure you check out the stream, get the injury news. So yeah, as I say, Shearer came off injured early. So get the news from that. Saw a tweet today saying that Everton have spent 7 million on someone. So that could be interesting. Yeah, just same message as always. Make sure you've got all the information before you make your transfers. Good luck with the game week. Good luck with the game week, guys. See you next time.